And my homie George, shout out to my homie George.
It'll be very easy for you to party.
I think one of the biggest problems with Syracuse winters is that it plays with your feelings. How's the transportation situation? How do people move around? Oh boy.
Hills.
Lots of walking.
There's
lots of walking.
A lot of walking.
You can't have a car here unless you're, what, sophomore?
You have to be a sophomore to actually have a car on campus, yeah.
Yeah, and parking is a no-go, right?
Parking here sucks. Even for like faculty members and like employees at Syracuse University, parking is terrible. I know a friend who works at one of the offices, and apparently like they don't offer her like a parking option, so she has to park at some weird spot or something.
That is so bad.
So she just takes the bus apparently.
Most people walk to class.
They do have electric scooters on campus that can be kind of convenient. You have to pay for them obviously, but yeah, for the most part everybody just walks everywhere.
I have a bike. I bike around in the fall.
People do bike a lot if they are off campus or if they are at South Campus, but if you're living in the dorms and just on main campus, for the most part everybody just walks everywhere.
I think one thing to like keep in mind as well is that the weather in the winter, I don't even need to say it, the place is just covered in snow. When that happens, yeah, it's all walking.
Oh, and there's a bus too.
And bus.
There's a trolley.
And
nobody
bus.
ever really uses it, but it's there. You use the trolley.
Apparently a lot of people actually use it.
Practice.
Really?
To go to Manley Field, if you're an athlete watching this, you can go to practicing the bus. It goes like every I think 10 minutes or something.
There's also a bus that goes up to the mount apparently.
Bus or trolley?
Trolley. And a bus, I think. Is there a lot to do outside of school, off campus?
Well, if you love tacos, and I don't know what else there is to do here.
Other than downtown, you really only have like a lot of nature and Destiny Mall. There's maybe like a couple like nature spots. That's about it.
But
there is some gorgeous rivers or whatever lakes and waterfalls here, but you kind of need a car for that. You need a car. But then yeah, other than that, it's like there's the mall and there's downtown, and that's about it.
I think Syracuse's highlight is the university, to be honest. Honestly, I think
that's a really sad truth, but
unless you love to shop.
Because Destiny Mall is like one of the biggest malls in the country,
Yeah.
right? It's like the 4th biggest or 6th biggest, something crazy like
it's
that.
a huge mall. A lot of people just drive there just to go to the mall.
Yeah,
Do you know why
especially
you haven't
without
done
a
much
car.
outside of campus? Because there's something to do outside of campus.
There's downtown.
I feel like that's why the party scene here is really big, because people don't really have much else to do besides party.
I've talked about this in one of my previous videos, but that was my perspective. Now we got a more open opinion about this. But is it hard to get into parties, have a social life, if you don't get involved in Greek life? All right, so from the guy's perspective first, just to make it clear, social life, you don't need Greek life, to be honest. A lot of people are surprisingly not in Greek life and they have a social life. Greek life, it can open new doors to some social things and definitely some party stuff, but you really don't need Greek life in order to have like a social life, if that makes any sense. So in terms of getting to parties for guys, if they're not in Greek life, have fun.
It's probably not gonna happen.
You're not gonna, there's like maybe a 10-20% chance you'll get into a frat party by paying like $20 or something. Usually they don't let guys in. There's some off campus like not frat house parties that happen.
Just house parties,
but still you gotta pay because you're a dude.
Not if you're a girl.
Even for house parties?
Even for house parties, you gotta pay. Some of them are free, but it always depends. But usually, if you're a guy and you're trying to get into any party, you will most likely have to pay. Would you like to talk about your experience as a girl with these?
I think as a girl, it'll be very easy for you to party. Because I haven't been to a sorority party. Do they have sorority parties?
I feel like sorority girls usually just go
to frats.
From my knowledge, I don't think they host parties at sorority houses just so they can keep them nice and clean.
I agree. Those parties are dirty.
Yeah.
That's why I don't go out.
Frat parties are...
Frat houses or...
But yeah, as a girl, you can get into anywhere you want. But obviously, there are some 21 plus areas that you need to be 21 or older to go in.
Or have a fake.
In that case, even if you're a girl, you will need to have an ID to get in. But in the college parties, frats, house parties, whatever, you'll be able to get in.
No problem.
Okay, good.
This is the question that everyone is curious about, and it's probably the easiest question to answer for a Syracuse student. How is the winter at Syracuse University?
Brutal. So brutal. Oh my gosh. I'm used to, me and you both, we're used to very, very, very sunny weather. I'm from California. She's from Puerto Rico. It is brutal here. It gets down to like 0 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's just like, what, like a lot of time I found myself asking this to myself a lot of times, like what am I doing in Syracuse, New York? Like genuinely, like how did I end up here? Because it's like, it'll just be white. Like you just step outside and it's just white, you can't see anything, and it's just freezing, and I don't even know how, like, yeah, it's bad.
Even today I was like, it's April and it's freezing outside. Yeah, when they say how's the winter, just think about the coldest, like a cold place. Like it's just cold. The wind is, I think, is the worst. The wind, because it just makes the cold even worse. Because sometimes it can be like not that cold, but the wind just makes it worse. So yeah, like just bring good equipment like boots and coat and whatever, and you'll be fine.
Well, I'd say if you're from like a place where it's not usually cold or it usually doesn't snow, don't bring stuff from there, because like if you buy like a winter coat in California, like it's not gonna like buy your stuff here or in the area, because it's more well suited for the area.
I personally lived in Rochester for a long time, so I'm used to the winter. But with that said, what is brutal is brutal. I think one of the biggest problems with Syracuse winters is that it plays with your feelings. And when I mean play with your feelings, I'm talking about like toxic relationship type playing with your feelings.
It's like I'm already getting played by this.
No,
I don't
it's
need to get played by the weather too.
It's
bro.
worse than a toxic Tinder date that you like felt down bad for.
Okay.
No, I'm not trying to say something. So one day it'll be like negative 20 like degrees Fahrenheit with like 8 inches of snow outside, with like winds that are like the snow is falling like horizontally. It's not falling down vertically. It's going horizontally. It's that
Everywhere.
bad. But then the next day, it's 60 degrees Fahrenheit. The sun is out. The snow is gone, and everyone's like walking around in shorts.
And you think just maybe for a second, just maybe,
just maybe, you thought it was going to be okay,
but no,
and like
you were wrong.
Holy Lord, it's March 29th. Spring is here. Snowstorm the next day.
I just really want to emphasize how it's April 19th. It snowed last night.
It is now April, spring semester here. I think I can count the amount of sunny days I've seen on like one, maybe two hands, but I mean, you know, like,
I think like
have not been many of them.
like 5 times.
It's brutal out here. It's really
And-
brutal.
To give you hope on seasonal depression, I, thank goodness, have not felt that. There's a chance that you'll be okay.
With that said, there are still a lot of victims of seasonal depression. It is a real thing.
Just stay involved.
Yeah.
Dude, no, like it gets bad though. There's some days where you just don't see sunlight at all. No, there's some weeks like where you just don't see sunlight for like a week straight, and it's just like man, this is rough out here.
But it's not that bad.
The best way to counter this is just
I mean, it's
keep a
bad.
positive mind, smile in the mirror, take your vitamins, meet people when you can, and just, you know, try and enjoy the snow when you can. Don't, I guess, resent
don't
it
be
as
afraid.
much.
Don't be afraid to just go outside.
Yeah.
Of your dorm, because like I definitely struggle with that, of just like staying inside too much and it gets bad. So, and just sometimes just going for a walk will help.
Yeah.
So.
Sometimes it feels nice, you know.
Just stay involved. Keep your do things like.
Find your people, you know.
This goes for transfer students. What is the better option, off campus or South campus housing?
I have never lived on South Campus before, but I have friends who have lived on South Campus, and it is very distant from main campus. I'm sure Andrew can tell you about that in a sec, but just like as somebody who has had relationships with people, not like, you know, but just like friendships with people, like on South Campus, like there was this one, my homie George, shout out to my homie George. You know, my homie George, yeah. So I was really good friends with him, still am really good friends with him, but I just never saw him that semester he moved to South Campus because it's just so far away. It's really inconvenient. So if you're living on South, you're gonna be pretty secluded from everything going on this side. So do you have any like friends that are on South or no?
Yeah.
How often do you see them?
Never.
my point has been proven.
So as a person who is currently living off campus and as a person who lived on South Campus as well, the unfortunate fact about being a transfer student is that you most likely won't be able to live in a dorm because dorms are usually the demand for dorms are usually high, so there's usually no empty rooms in dorms. So transfer students will most likely have to live on South Campus or off campus.
I hadn't even thought about that.
Yeah.
You're so right. You're not gonna get into a dorm if you're a transfer
But
student.
apparently, I don't know, for this school year there wasn't room on South Campus at all, so people transfer students had to go off campus.
Well,
too.
if you're a freshman, you might be able to get into a dorm.
Freshmen should be good. It's really hard to answer this question because no matter where you live, it's kind of hard to get a social life out of any of them. I feel like off campus would be at least a little more better in terms of having that freedom. First of all, if you're getting an off campus like apartment or something, your location is probably going to be better than South Campus. With that said, finding roommates to live off campus will be difficult as a transfer student, I'd say.
There's actually a lot of people that are on like Facebook groups that constantly look for roommates, even if it's just for one semester. Like if it's for the spring semester, you're transferring in during spring semester, you can find somebody who's going abroad that semester and is looking for a sublet. So I'd say look on Facebook for different opportunities to find places to live that are off campus, and it shouldn't be that hard.
Yeah, I'd say honestly, thinking about it, off campus would probably be a lot better because I mean, my time on South Campus, you're very secluded from the rest of the school basically, and even people on South Campus, unless if you like know each other, no one really is social with each other. Everyone on the bus, zombies. Everyone at Goldstein students or whatever it's called, it's like the little like building on South Campus, zombies. There's like no chance of socializing on South Campus. In terms of like your neighbors and stuff, people are usually very to themselves on South.
I mean, there's people that like that. If you like to just be kept to yourself, then I mean, South Campus shouldn't be that bad for you. But if you are trying to meet people or be involved like on campus just socially,
off campus would be a better option.
Yeah, definitely.
South Campus is really far off of campus, so like if you wanted to like get more involved on campus, on main campus, there's a lot of moving you'd have to do. So I'd say go off campus for a transfer student.
Off campus, yeah.
Study abroad isn't more expensive. What year can you go? Thoughts on study abroad?
I think we're all gonna go next year, right?
Yeah.
None of us have been abroad for a semester yet. We're going all next year.
I'm pretty sure it's the same price, if I'm not mistaken. It's like,
it depends on the program,
Yeah.
if I'm correct.
It depends on like where you like stay, like your housing and your program.
I mean, I'm sure it changes a little bit. It shouldn't be like drastically different, right? It's like ballpark in the same area as, you know, as you're just coming to school here. So nothing too terrible. In terms of when you can go, also depends on the program, but it's like I've met people that went abroad the first semester of their freshman year, and then, you know, everything in between that is a possibility as well, because me and Andrew are going to go the fall semesters of our senior years. So it just really depends on the program, but there's something available for everybody pretty much.
I'm going to Florence.
The flex.
No, it's fun.
Have you been there?
No.
How do you know it's fun? You don't.
What if it doesn't? What if it's not fun?
What if it's not fun? What if it sucks?
What if
you're lonely?
What if it is? Guys, see the glass half full, okay? Back to what I was saying. I'm going in spring, so you can choose either spring or fall, but it depends if like your program, like for your major, offers like where, because some majors like don't have like in Florence, but some do have in Paris, in like Strasbourg, or like I don't know,
Madrid,
London, Madrid. So like it depends on your major. So like if you want to go abroad, like talk to your advisor about it and see like what are your options. And also you have different classes in spring and fall. So make sure you like, you know, which semester you're going to know like which classes you're going to be able to take.
good answer.
Yes. You're welcome. You're welcome.
So yeah, study abroad, it all depends on the program. So some programs, I feel like there's no like extra fees, I think, if I'm correct. But like SULA for VPA, there's like an additional $1,500 you gotta pay. And then you gotta consider like also like applying for abroad. Some you have to pay for them too.
Yeah, just to apply.
To apply.
Yeah.
And who knows, you might get rejected. But I feel like everyone kind of gets in.
If you're in decent standing,
Yeah.
you'll probably get
Some
accepted.
have like requirements.
There's also scholarships that apply to just if you're going abroad, so definitely look into applying for those too.
And you can also go in the summer as well. I'm not sure if you mentioned it.
There's summer programs too.
There's all sorts of programs. You should be fine.
Depending on like what program you're in, there's some like programs where you can go whenever you want, I think, or at least by a certain grade you can go whenever. But there are some programs where there's like set semesters for a set year where you can go. Like for instance, VPA film, you can go to Prague, but only the spring of junior year. Then SULA, I believe, is only the fall of senior year, but apparently it's changing, and I don't really know what is up. But I think like something in the drama department, I think it was like acting. They go to New York City in the spring of their senior year. Yeah. So it all depends on what program you're in. So just look into that on the website if you're curious, because I don't know everything. All right, so last question. Now this might be a little bit of a TMI, but financial situation. Does the school give enough money? How much money do you need for like everyday life?
It is really, really, really different for everybody. I'm personally here on almost a full scholarship. Half of that is, I don't know exact fractions, but a good majority of it is need-based. A good majority of it is merit-based, stuff from high school. I'm pretty well taken care of, but I know that when I did get accepted here, my financial aid package wasn't as amazing. So if you really, really, really want to come here and it's like, you find your package or your offer just isn't as great as you'd like it to be, definitely don't be afraid to hit up financial aid and being like, yo, like, can you give me some more money? Obviously not exactly saying that, but like, they will do it. I don't know if you guys have done that, but I know a lot of people don't even know that's a thing, but you can do that. So just a heads up on financial aid side of it.
I think Syracuse has like a lot of like resources to like reach out to, and like so many ways that they can help you with your financial aid. For example, like this COVID funding, they had like this emergency thing where you could like submit like, and it could be anybody, like submit like a form to like receive a certain amount for like something in your tuition, and like they're very like open in helping if you ever need help. And yeah, like it's a very like expensive school, but I think that's not going to stop you from like, they don't want to stop you from learning if you can't afford it. They want to actually help you get in and like, study and comfortably. Like if you can't pay it, they are going to help you.
They just talked about like school, like finances and stuff, but in terms of like everyday life, like daily expenses and stuff, in my personal experience, at least my freshman year, I survived like I was able to survive a month with like $60 to $80 max.
Wow.
Yeah. So I feel like that's only possible because I was like on campus eating dining hall food with the meal plan. So like what I'm trying to say is if you eat from the dining hall and like you have a meal plan or something, it's gonna be different for sure, because if you're off campus, you're off campus, you gotta get your own and you don't have a dining plan, you most likely have to get your own food, groceries, expenses, cleaning utensils, it all stacks up. You have more like space to take care of. Sorry, I don't mean to interject, but something just popped into my head. If you live on campus for whatever reason, if you're like a transfer student coming in, end up living on campus, there's like that expense that is what is it? Not just utilities. What is it? Like washing, for example, washing your clothes. Like every listing around here will say, oh, there's an in-house dryer, like if you have a house. It's true, but you have to pay for it still, which is really stupid. I have a washer dryer in my own basement of my own house, and we have to pay quarters. It's like, why is that a thing? Just if you live off campus, you gotta just take everything into consideration. The good news for on campus is it's all free now. Back in my day, I had to pay with quarters.
I felt that. I feel like for the most part, if you are a freshman coming in, the traditional way, you are living in a dorm, you have a meal plan, dining dollars that come with this, you should be fine. They give you money to print. You probably won't be spending too much money on necessity stuff as a freshman here, everything probably would be just like, you know, luxury or just whatever miscellaneous stuff you want to spend money on. But yeah,
I think something I should have mentioned is that I'm not like a daily coffee person. I'm not like a daily, like, I need to get my boba every day. I don't need to go out and get food all the time, like outside food. Like, I'm not that kind of a person as much as some people, so I guess I was able to survive with just like maybe a couple Andrew Jacksons in my wallet. But if you're the type of person who needs your daily Starbucks or your daily Dunkin' at Shine, that's on you. You know, you should know your financial situation. You should know how much you'll need for that. Do the math.
make your own matcha. It saves you so much money.
Making your own tea and stuff, or your own coffee in your own
saves you
dorm.
so much money.
That does save a lot.
So much money. Buy your coffee beans, grind them up, make your coffee every morning. That's all I can say.
We also have another alternative to meal plans. We have dining dollars, which like in Shine, you can like eat Panda, Core Life, Halal, Dunkin', and other stuff like on campus with like dining dollars. So like they give you like, you have like a certain like amount of money you can use for those. It's part of your meal plan.
How does that work actually? Because I'm someone who just has never experienced using dining dollars like that. Like, is that included in tuition, or how does that work?
So when you choose your meal plan, it's like meal swipes, and then alongside that there's like a dining dollar option.
Each meal plan option comes with like a set amount of dining dollars that comes with that option.
I think so. And then I think you could also recharge your dining dollars.
Yeah, you can definitely add funds to it. I know that for sure, but I just wasn't sure how it like works.
So there's a lot of different packages, if I remember correctly. It's been years since I looked at it, so it might have changed over time, but the concept I think it remains the same. All right, so that's all the questions. I didn't think about how we were going to wrap this up.
Want a part 2 of this? Comment more questions down below.
I was not going to say comment, like, and subscribe. I hate saying that, so
we're going to say it for you. Comment, like, and subscribe to Andrew's YouTube channel. And check out Soley.
Check out my channel.
I'll leave their socials down below in the link, the description. What's it called?
You don't even gotta check out my YouTube. I don't be uploading ever. I've uploaded 2 videos
today.
I am more like a TikTok and Instagram consistent poster, but I'll try to post more on YouTube now that I'm going abroad. So stay tuned for that.
Check out my photography. I'm into photography. I post on my Instagram. If you come to Syracuse and I'm here still, like next year, if you're a freshman coming in this year or next year. If you're a freshman coming in next year, if you want to take photos together, or you want to, I don't know, model for photos, ever, hit me up.
We'll be here by the spring.
I like to take photos. I still got you. Don't worry about it.
She left you hanging. All right, that's the end of the video.
All right.
Just for some context, we got maybe like an hour's worth of footage.